Hi, and welcome to the Word of the Week. This week's word is question. Now, with our monthly theme of study to learn, questions are an interesting part of the learning process. See, when we think about learning, we think about gaining knowledge. Questions are usually things that are used to test our knowledge, right? You go to school, you learn a bunch of stuff, and then you're tested by being asked questions. But see, we can use questions ourselves not as a test of our knowledge, but as a method of gaining our knowledge. Now, we've talked already about the importance of watching and listening, right? Observing and listening. And questioning is one of the other steps we want to use. And we want to ask questions. That's the way that we're going to find the answers that we're looking for. You can't find an answer unless you ask the question. Then the question becomes, who do you ask? Who do you ask these questions to, and what type of questions do you ask? Well, we can look outside of ourselves, and that's a great way of learning information, and we've talked about this before. Who do you ask questions to? Who do you observe? Who do you listen to? The people that have the knowledge that you're looking to gain, or the experience, or the successes that you're looking to duplicate. You want to ask those people. And what kind of questions do you want to ask? You want to ask, how did you do this? What did you do? What do you think about? What do you feel? What are your processes? Right. So as a martial arts instructor, these are the kind of questions that I get asked a lot. So you know, how do you become a national level athlete? How do you become a black belt? What does it take? How did you train to be able to do splits, or how did you train to be able to do a no-hand cartwheel, or any of the cool stuff that you can learn to do when you're practicing martial arts? So a lot of people will ask the kind of questions in terms of the process. And you know, I ask a lot of martial arts business people, how do you deal with these kind of situations? How do you teach this type of student? How do you teach this kind of skill? How do you run your business? So I'm always looking to other people as well to answer my questions, so that I can gain more knowledge, and by gaining more knowledge and then applying that knowledge, I can get myself to a higher level in my personal life. So we can ask others. But we also need to ask ourselves questions, right? Because you can get all the greatest information in the world. You can have it handed to you, which we actually have access to so much great information. There's sometimes too much information. So what we've got to do is we've got to ask ourselves some very important questions. So, for example, if somebody asks me, you know, well, Coach, when am I going to get my black belt? I can ask them the question that they need to ask themselves. Well, how important is it to you? How hard do you want to work for it? Because you know, there's going to be that work effort. If you want it, you got to work for it. And the question is, how badly do you want it? Are you willing to work harder for this and give up some things, or would you rather just kind of, you know, skate along? All right. So you need to ask yourself about your actions. You know, are you doing the things you need to do? If people are giving you the right answers and you're not applying them, well, then it doesn't help you at all. You need to question yourselves about your beliefs and your attitudes. You know, are you're thinking the wrong things? Are you believing the wrong things? You know, it's like, well, I believe if I just come to class and twice a week, then eventually I will become great. Well, yeah, you're going to improve, but you're not going to get the skill level unless you do the work, right? It goes back to our actions. So maybe your beliefs about how you do things, or what you're doing, or you know, beliefs about your approach to things, or even a lot of times it's beliefs about ourselves, and it's not always a thing like what we believe, but believing in ourselves is kind of like a lot of people have, well, they're extremes. Some people believe themselves to be way better than they are, and some people believe themselves to be much worse than they are. So you got to question your beliefs, right? You got to question your attitudes, how you think about stuff, because that has a great deal to do with how you continue to improve, whether that's going to hold you back or whether it's going to push you forward. Another great thing about questions is that it allows us to kind of research things. And we'll be talking about that in next week's lesson. But one of my teachers, Dr. Yang Jingming, very, very respected martial artist, a teacher, writer, so historian, very, very, very well respected. And Dr. Yang has made it a point several times to say, don't just accept everything I say. You must question what I say. You must determine for yourself whether this is true for you. Because that's the thing, there's no one answer. And everything that I've told you in this series, this video series today, and every video that I've shot, you need to question it. You need to question whether this applies to you, whether this makes sense to you. Because if it doesn't make sense to you, then it's not going to help you. If it does make sense to you, then you can apply it. So don't, for myself and anybody else, don't just accept anything that someone says without questioning it. But then if it does resonate with you, then you have to apply it. Applying it is the key. And here's another thing about questions, and this is something that drives a lot of teachers crazy, is when we have people who like to ask a lot of questions. There's nothing wrong with asking questions, but think about your questions. They're provided, you're going to get provided with an answer. That answer, you think about, like asking a question and getting an answer is kind of like ordering food. Okay, so you ask for something, somebody gives you something in return. If you get too much, you can't digest it and you can get sick. So make sure when you ask questions, don't ask too many questions, because then your mind gets stuffed with stuff and then it's hard to digest the answers. It's hard to gain the nutrition, to gain the benefit from those answers if you ask too many questions. So, I kind of do a three-course question might be a good way of looking at things. Like, ask a couple of simple questions, take those answers, question them, look at them, figure them out, digest them, determine what's useful and what's not, and then if you still have more questions, then come back later. Don't just throw out a endless stream of, well, why and what and how and just, the continuous stream of questions without time for you to personally digest and apply it. Okay, so I hope that this lesson today raises more questions than it answers, because that process is going to get your mind going, it's going to get you thinking, and then most importantly, I hope that it gets you acting. All right. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed this week's lesson. See you next week.